Good evening, esteemed viewers and followers. This is Fine TV Gambia, your only viewpoint. Today, there is a very interesting and, of course, a mouth-watering debate between, candidates from the University of the Gambia Medical Students Association. Basically, I'll be your moderator, Ibrahim Mbai. But before we proceed with our proceedings, I will allow them to introduce themselves. But I will just give you a gist about the individuals who are with me here. We have Mr. Famara Sanyang, who is from who's on my right hand side, who is from team Dynamic. And on my left hand, we have Mr. Ahmad Tijan, Krubali, who is from Team Impact. So basically, they are vying for the position of vice president in the University of the Gambia Medical Students Association. So I will allow them to introduce themselves formally. So Mr. Sanya, could you tell the viewers who is Mr. Sanya? Welcome to Fine TV Gambia.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chen, right?
Mr. Mbai.
Mr. Mbai, sorry for that. My name is Famara Sanya, 50-year medical student. Yes, I'm a 50-year medical student, Team Dynamic, vying for the position of Vice Presidency for UniGamsa.
Thank you, Mr. Sanya, and welcome to Fine TV. And Mr. Tijan, could you tell us, who is Mr. Tijan?
Thank you very much for having me. Good evening to the wonderful viewers. My name is Amadou Tijan Krubali. I am a brand new 50-year medical student under the team Impact. I'm vying for the position of a vice president. Thank you for having me on the show.
Thank you, and you're welcome to Fine TV Gambia. Esteemed viewers and followers, like I mentioned earlier on, this is a debate between candidates who are vying for the position of vice president at the University of the Gambia Medical Students Association. So, Mr. Sanya, we'll start with you, and let's put this thing in a very laconic and terse way. So, could you tell us, Mr. Sanya, what are some of the, what have you played towards the way forward of UniGamsa? Hence you are a 5th-year student.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mbai. Good evening to you all. Since I joined the school, medical school, I could not say I've not done anything for UniGamsa, but at least I could remember I have done some things supporting the sport ministry. Yeah, I have supported the sport ministry, and I have been involved in sport activities under the UniGamsa. I think all the students, one way or the other, have seen what I've been doing for UniGamsa. I have donated on 2 occasions to the sport ministry. That was last year and this year. And those are some of the things that have contributed to the UniGamsa student executives, and then that was very vital because there were some things that I feel that they needed something like that for our tournaments and other stuff. So those were some of the things. And then
Mr. Sanya, to cut you, you've mentioned a very important point that through the sport ministry you've donated something. So could you tell us what are some of those things that you've donated to the sport ministry?
Well, I've on 2 occasions donated football to the sport minister. I gave it through the president of UniGamsa on 2 occasions. It was not politically motivated, but at least you have asked me about what I've contributed, my contribution to the UniGamsa. So this is part of it. Yeah. These are some of the things that I have done, contributed to the sport ministry.
So are you started with this? Students will be confident to vote you into office with, while providing football to the sport ministry.
Well, that's left to the students, but I never wanted to mention such because it was never politically motivated. Because this is a need that the school was in need, and I feel like I have the access to support the school through this. I promised the minister, well before doing so. I say, in fact, I will be able to donate football to you, but sometimes due to the busy schedule, I was unable to give more, but at least I was able to give two.
So apart from sports, what are some of the contributions that you've made to Unigams apart from providing football to the students and yeah, what have you contributed
Yes,
else?
the other thing will be like attending congresses, and then you know contribute like the welfare of the students and then how to run certain things, the monetary part of it, you know, to scrutinize what they were doing so that they can speed up, or what they are doing is not right, and then to make sure that the executives are doing what is right in accordance with the constitution.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Saya. Not to keep you long. I think that is quite interesting, and then I think the medical students are watching and they know that you've one time provided, a football to the students, which is a way forward to help the students to prosper as far sport is concerned. So, Mr. Kubali, could you tell us what are some of the contributions that you've made to the way forward of Unigamsa?
Thank you, Ibrahim. I think that's a wonderful question. So, attending to these things I've done for the students before stepping in, I should rightly mention everything starts from a journey. You just don't jump from 0 to 100%. So I've been very active from the past executives. Normally every health ministry, usually like the present health minister, will organize what they usually call the pad drive. If you know the pad drive, if you've ever heard of it, it's where the medical students themselves deemed it necessary, led by the health minister, to go out and give 100% support to girls in rural Gambia, especially because we know how part what the girls use when they're menstruating. It's very expensive. Sometimes girls find it so difficult to have it. So we the students always usually contribute, and I was among the health team. I was among the health team of this present health minister who stepped out of the way, leave their schooling activities, go out, find donors and sponsors to give us money, and then I donated a whole packet of parts to be given to the health minister. That was very helpful, I believe, because when it happened, we were on exams. As you rightly know, in medical school, exams are very tough and it's time consuming. So when I donated it, I really wanted to be among the team that would go to Farfenye, because we know in the combos, even though part could be that hard, but not compared to the villages outside there.
Exactly.
So the team went on my absence, even though I wanted to go to be part of the team to put that initiative. They went on our behalf, met young girls in the village who might not have access to parts.
Yeah.
Yes, and they used it, gave it to them free of charge. I would stress that free of charge. It's not something that we're doing so that we will, kind of gain popularity or something. Wherever you are, you can have an impact. That's what I believe in, at whatever level you are. So from that point, I think it's it's something that I've done for Unikamsa and for the students.
Wow, that is quite interesting. And then we all know, how important parts are to young girls, in fact, and then most importantly to people in the province of Gambia.
Definitely.
But apart from that, have you also contributed to the way forward of Unigamsa in any other way?
Definitely.
Could you tell us, please?
So, in Africa, we always have this problem of, low, like people will not be able to question their leaders. I was I don't want to talk about that, but I think I have to because it's necessary.
It's part of it.
It's not about selling myself out, because our present leaders, whatever they are up to in the medical school, I am so up to date with it. And if I see anything that I deem necessary to talk about, to question them, to tell them this is what you're doing for the organization, for the association of Unikamsa, I've been among the top students that go outside, push and question them on the things that they're making, the decisions that they're making for the organization. If I was to cite an example, just we had an accommodation issue. The medical students live in SRM. So what happens is, we when it was partially given to students, I was among the people that spoke out, and that really helped in making sure that keeping accountability to our leaders, and that's very paramount. And not only that, I've paid dues to the association. I've never hold a dime. Every year I'll pay my due. I'll attend Congress. Yes, and all those things are things that I've been doing day every Congress. Yes.
Quite interesting, and I believe those are very, important points. You've mentioned of, donating parts, to young girls in the province of Gambia, and we all know how important parts are to, to girls. And also, you've mentioned that you've in several occasions, trying to hold your leaders accountable. Which is key to any other, student, the medical student, not only at the medical school, but any level where students are. I believe leaders must be held accountable. So that is so brief and precise. So now moving to Mrs. Sanya again. Mrs. Sanya, now could you tell us what are some of the reasons Mr. Sanya is vying for this position?
Thank you very much, Mr. Mbai. Yes, the reason why I came into this thing, like vying for the position of vice presidency, is there are many, but I will just try to laminate some. Because when I came into medical school, there were a lot of things that I've seen they are not going the way it should be. Looking at the medical school, now we have 2 medical schools, but then it used to be only 1. But the problems are still persistent. You look at our restrooms, that is toilet facility, the school, some of the classroom facilities, tables, chairs, see them. In fact, the toilet is horrible by then, male, females using the same toilet. I think like, wow, there are certain things, there are some things that can be done about these things. Why can't we come up and then, although the previous executives were doing a lot and they have done a lot, and then it's like, wow, how I feel like it's like this problem has been persistent. It's like these people are following the same route. So why not we come again and see how to diversify things? The UTG itself, looking at it, they are always sometimes looking for fun. They are not 100% okay. Even the university that is building at Faraba is not sponsored by the UTG. So certain times there are certain loopholes now. So why can't we come up with something that these things will be solved? So I see why. The toilet facility, these are some of the things that can be just repaired within minutes. Some you just need to
Okay, Mr. Saya, I think you are deviating from the question that I'm asking. The question I'm asking is not about the challenges or the problems you're encountering at the medical school, but reasons why Mr. Sanyang himself is trying to vie for the position of president.
That's where I'm
vice president. Okay.
Yes, I'm coming to give you the reasons why I came into.
Okay.
You understand? It's just that it's wild. So, like, wow, what can we do about those things? Okay, we have donors, we have parastaters, we have other people that if we knock at their door, they can solve this problem. Okay, UTG at its mass, we don't have a maintenance unit. Why can't UTG provide us with sub-maintenance unit that will be taking care of those things?
Okay, if you made mention of a maintenance unit, what do you mean about what are they going to maintenance, and then in what area are you
That's
talking?
what I'm telling you. Right now, if you go to the toilet, you see some need minor maintenance, but the VP will be following the administration. He will be following the facility officers, the facility director, just to repair those things that can be done within minutes. But before you get the expert on the ground, It always takes months, weeks. What can we do about these things?
Like,
Yeah, what can we do about these things? Okay, we have BCC. We are in Banjul. We have BCC. We have other parastatals. The hospital is having maintenance unit. So I always suggest to people, why can't we go to the CMD, talk to the CMD about their maintenance unit, so that we can benefit from that. They will be repairing our toilet facilities, our ACs, and then with no cost. So if there is any replacement or anything that need to be replaced, then we can communicate to the UTG admin so that they can replace those things. But for the maintenance, we can have either a maintenance unit within the school, or we liaise with the CMD to be providing us with that. So when you look at the chairs and tables, again, we have limited ones. What can we do about those things? We have donors, we have parastatals. We can reach out to them, and within some months, these problems will be solved. So these were some of the things.
So how are you sure within months such problems could be tackled?
Yeah, I'm 100% sure of when I say within months, I'm 100% sure of it, because one thing is, if we engage certain people or parastatals, they will come to our aid. It's just that you don't go into only one person or one parastatal or one institution or philanthropy. We have to do from one person to another to make sure that we get all those things in place.
So basically, in a nutshell, Mr. Sanya, if I'm getting you loud, is that you've mentioned of two things. That is, the toilet facilities are not good, and of course, the learning material, which includes chairs and the chairs and the tables in your school are not okay. So if I'm getting you loud and clear, is that these are two reasons that motivated Mr. Sanya to vie for the question.
It's not only those things.
Okay, could you make it quick, because we are running out of time?
Yeah, thank you very much. When you look at it, we have a classroom problem as well. Sometimes we'll wake up as early as possible, maybe 6, and just to secure classroom, we have 2 empty space that just needs maybe certain replacement, or because there is one that we call Wi-Fi room. We need the door just need to be replaced, and it takes years now. It's not, we have to move on. We have to make sure that we engage the directors, the facility director, to make sure that they fix those doors, and then the place for it to be used as a classroom. Understand?
Yeah.
So the issue of dormitory also is always a problem. As a school now, for more than 10 years, we should be able to have a permanent dormitory within Banjul. What are we doing about it? So these are some of the things. As we are speaking right now, today, what makes us to come at this time is because we had a meeting with the Director of Health. We communicated with the Minister, Honorable Minister Samate, Minister of Health, about the issue. So he directed us to the Director of Health, Minister of Health. So he gave us time that we have to meet. We have to meet with him. So that's why we went. That's where we went to meet with him to discuss about the permanent dormitory. So he has given us reassurance, and he has pointed us a place that we should go and check whether it will be feasible for us. Understand? So these are some of the things. It's because of the students, how I see students.
Okay, Mr. Sanya, we are on against time.
Yeah.
So if I'm getting you, and then you've mentioned something very important, that is dormitory. And then from your words, you've said that over 10 years, it is difficult to have, dormitory. Do you believe that within a year, you'll be able to handle that, to have a dormitory? Because you mentioned that after 10 years, the medical students are there without a dormitory. Well, so are you saying that within a year, you'll be able to overcome that particular problem after 10 years of leadership from different individuals? I know it will be part of the agendas. They'll come up on media, tell them that the dormitory, we will work hard to make sure dormitory, are established in Banjul. But yet, we are yet to see those dormitories. So are you certain, as an aspiring vice president, that if you are voting to office, you are going to make sure, dormitories are provided?
Yes, this is part of my plans. And then we want dormitory within Banjul, not outside Banjul. We met with UTG, the faculty officers. I don't know, not the faculty officer, but the faculty. It's within the directorate of the facility.
Okay.
So what we were told is there is a space at mile 7 that if we want, they can build that to be a permanent dormitory. But we don't want students to move away from Banjul.
But this time between mile 7 and Banjul, I don't think that.
Yeah, you don't understand how medical school are sometimes. Sometimes you need to maybe relax for a while and go back to school to read. It's not all that can read at a dormitory, because it's not all that have exams at the same time. So that's why even the director told us, if you want land easily, we can give you outside.
Okay. No, we'll come to the challenges now. So let me allow Mr. Krubali also, to give us, a brief about why he's vying for this position.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Ibrahim. So, good afternoon once again, viewers. If I should give them a short answer why I should be voted in as the vice president, short answer is I would be the right man to solve all the plight that we are facing in the medical school. Plight, problems that we are currently facing as I'm speaking. We know them. They are huge. During our seniors' time, they used to have electives. When I mean electives, is where medical students are given chance to go outside the Gambia, anywhere you choose, based on how much money your cohort, your class is giving, to go outside and further, like a year, to expand your knowledge on the stuffs that you are learning, the theoretical knowledge that you are learning in class. So that have been occurring for the past, since when the medical school have been formed. Each cohort would have a particular year in their 5th year or maybe 6th in between. They go outside, people go to Senegal, people UK, America, but they come back after 6 months to now write their thesis and then graduate as medical doctors. Mm-hmm. So since the former regime, when the new regime come in, things have been slowed down, and every medical student know that it have been sick. It have been shaky. You really need vigorous leaders, determined people who really want the continuity of those things to step in and push it hard. Because currently, the present executive, the 17th executive, they are doing wonders. But as you said, there are always long-term and short-term goals. Mm-hmm. They've pushed. Our job is to come in, complete it, so to make sure that the 17th, the 18th, the 19th cohort, and us, the 20th cohort, whenever we step in, we would be given the fund, because the main problem in that aspect is about the fund. Mm-hmm. To have the money to be raised. By then, it's all usually come from the government. But now it has been shaky, as I said. And students, like the 20th cohort, the 17th, the 18th, we all need fund. And we are currently working on it to make sure that students have fun to go do their electives. Apart from that, as I mentioned, if it is just a short-term answer, I would say I'm the right person to solve the very problem that the medical students are facing. If I come to the issue of accommodation, I, for one, I live in Costa Road, and it's have been a hectic thing traveling every single day to medical school, having to wake up 5 o'clock, even 4. You have bath, pray, and then from the mosque you leave the mosque and then go to school every single day. Even during exams, I had to talk to my friends who are already in the dorm. I didn't dorm, those who are in the dorm, so they will house me to be able to do my exams. I've faced those challenges several times. Now, truly, I'm a 5th year medical student. Just this past, 3 weeks or so, I completed my second professional exam. And during all that time, I stayed in Banjul, in town, paying rent to be able to do my exam without any difficulty in transportation. And I know exactly there are hundreds of medical students that are deserving to have a room, deserving to have a place they call accommodation that they can stay and do their studies of 7 good years to be able to complete. And this saying that they say, he who feels it knows it. I've tried applying because I was always kind of unlucky to get a room. But I've seen several people who have rooms, and I know, and I've also seen people who applied and are denied on several quick occasions. And I feel the same hurt as they felt. So if I go in that place, I'll make sure those who deservedly have a room have a room. One. And I would not put an iota of doubt in people's mind, giving them sugar-coated words. No. What I'm going to do, it's crystal clear. And if they've taken a look at my manifesto, they will see. That's about accommodation. And then I made mention of electives. So these are all points that I would, the moment, some of them are like, I've already started working on them to make sure, to make them believe that I'm the right candidate to solve the plight that they are in, that we are in, not just they, that we are in. When it comes to internet, how medical students, we are constantly online downloading files from our lecturers because we have lectures almost every day, apart from the time that we go to the ward to see the patients. So when you ask every medical student in the Gambia, they'll tell you that the internet is not, it's not widespread. It's kind of only in a particular building we call the SMAS. And one of my main role, if I come in, is to make sure it is decentralized. Expanded so that anywhere you are in the medical school, you don't even need to move to go there to connect and load your files and go back to where you study. I just hope people are picking this point. Yeah. I would put that thing across. That is among my short-term goals. And I have many reasons why I would be the right person to solve the plight that the medical students are facing right now.
Interesting. Esteemed viewers and followers, just to remind you, this is Fine TV Gambia, your live viewpoint. And here with me are, medical students, and then they're from the University of the Gambia, Medical Students Association. So, they're vying for the position of Vice President, respectively. We have Mr. Famara Sanyang, and then who's from Team Dynamic, and we have Mr. Tijan Krubali, who's from Team Impact. And then from there, Mr. Sanyang, do you have something to, say about what Mr. Krubali said? Do you have any rebuttal?
Yes, he made mention of so many things. He said he's part of those who challenge the leaders. Like, let me just put it like that. But I've seen that I will not say he's selfish.
Okay.
But he was talking about the room issues. When he was unable to get a room, he attacked them personally, but not on behalf of the students.
How certain are you on this particular allegation?
You can ask him about that. Yes, because what he said, he's supposed to be given a room, and there are criteria. It's not all that can get a room from medical school because they have their criteria. So today he's here, and then if you become the vice president, you know that all the students that apply, they need a room at that place. How will you manage that? And also coming to that of the internet issues, I think the process is already on. It's just to fix certain things for the expansion to be, because they have already put off everything. If you go to all those classrooms, I think the adapters are there on the walls. You will see it. And then from my knowledge, what I was told is all the materials are available. It's just the technician to come and fix it up.
So when will that be fixed?
That's the issue here, because they don't tell me any time or sooner that that's going to be done. But what is there is we want to make sure that everything is done, but we are not rushing it, because currently there is executive body and they are still working on it to make sure that these things are fixed. So that's why certain things are there. We did not come up with it, like that of elective. They've met with the provost, the acting provost. They have agreed on something, but later, still, I think the agreement is not 100% concrete.
There are some irregularities.
Exactly. So some of those things, I personally did not put it into my manifesto simply because I'm waiting for the results.
Do you think it was befitting that you put it in your manifesto so that you can also push the agenda? Maybe the current executive,
Like-
as slides, not that much pushing the agenda,
No.
but putting it in your manifesto would also give it an extra force to make sure it is being implemented.
Yes, because
It'll come. Your time is coming. You also
Yes.
review. Have time to review it.
yes, because what is there is every executive body, doing something so that after their term, it can be their legacy. So that's why, for me, I believe that before they go, before their time ends, something must be done about it.
But do you also believe that their time is almost?
Yeah,
at
I
the end?
believe they are almost, the time is almost ended. But what they need to do is to write some things, a policy about those things, for it to be materialized. So I'm just waiting for them to hear from them, and then so that when I come into office, I will know that yes, these people were pushing and they have succeeded, or they are unable to attain it. Where they stop, that's where I will push.
Okay, thank you very
Thank
much
you.
for that. So I think that is a quite allegation that he made, a false allegation that is like he attacked them personally instead of attacking them collectively. Now, Mr. Krubali,
Yes,
could you respond to that particular?
perfectly said.
Yes.
So when I could correctly remember the date when that happened, it was March 8, somewhere around the 1st to 9, single number dates, 1st to 9.
Okay.
It happened that most students applied for dorms, rooms, and they were not given. I was unfortunate to be among those, despite paying every due, trying my level best to tick all the boxes. And sometimes they will say, it's not your WhatsApp. I kind of believe that I never raised the issue for like a week. During my interaction with students, I don't just sit down and write it with my own selfish, as he mentioned. No, if it was left to me, I'd keep it to myself. I'll repeat that. I'd keep it to myself. They can even like ask my closest friends. I'd wanted to keep it to myself. I say, it's okay, I'll try next time again. But with my interaction with students, if you go back reading that same thing I've written, I didn't use the word I used the
Okay.
word we. You can go and check it. I used the word we because I've met students that told me, Tian, oh, I also applied, I wasn't given. I deemed it necessary to stand up, like
To speak unanimously.
on their behalf. I always use the word we. I don't use the word I there. So that alone is an
Mike.
answer to his word saying that I did it for myself and I did not do it for myself.
Okay, so
I stood up for people who could not have the courage to, show their frustration.
So it's like, that allegation is being struck out. That Mr. Science saying that he was speaking on his behalf only, but he made it very clear that he was speaking unanimously for students who are also affected. So I think, are you satisfied?
That was the first one. Yes,
Okay.
That was the first one. I wasn't speaking for myself, and there are people that applied for that time 3 times in a row.
Okay.
Applying for jobs they were not given. So that being said, I think he had nothing to add there because I wasn't speaking for myself. If it was to myself, I wouldn't have replied on the 18th, on the 20th. Like I told you at first, it's around the first days of March. I could remember the month very well. Around March 1st to 9, I'm not sure. So imagine from 10th, 11th, 12th up to 19th to 20th, around that end. From 20th to 9th to 18th, that was the time that I replied. That means it.
Okay.
So if it was being furious for my selfish reasons, gains, I would have replied instantly without consulting people.
Yeah.
It took time. I think that one is debunked. And when it comes to the to the accommodation issue, the problems we are facing, we all know it. It's crystal clear from the beginning. For accommodation, we've already started it, and as he mentioned, meeting people and all that. We've been doing exactly, if not more than that. Because if you know, when COVID was around, people were being taken to the sanitarium, 9/7. And, before that, TB patients were being taken there. And the only thing that is stopping us right now for the ministry or the parastatals or any philanthropists to help us with, building that place. We know we have links. We have people who are ready to help us build that place for medical students, not just medical students, but for even house officers. I think those are people. I think that those people who have graduated just recently,
Okay.
and are called student doctors.
Okay.
They are like transitioning,
Yeah.
and they need to really, they really have to put in practice what they've learned during the past 7 years or something. So our plan is not just for the medical students, but for even the house officers, so that they would be among those that will be given accommodation. That is in the mile 7. That is the auditorium.
Yeah.
So we are currently working on it. It's one thing I want him to understand is he also made mention of not including some of these stuffs in his manifesto.
Yeah.
I see that as a weakening point. You know why? In Africa, we have issues of lack of transitioning of leaders. When a leader left office, he wouldn't guide the upcoming one, would leave everything with the new guy. When he comes in, he has to figure out things by himself. So before you even lead, link your leaders. I know it's hard. Sometimes we might not be from the same team, despite team differences, despite our arguments, despite our differences. We all have the same denominator effect. We all have the same, thing at heart to serve Unigamsa. So what I did was to contact the present executive.
Okay.
17. I would say that they are doing fantastically well. I won't even give names, from the president down to the last one. They're doing fantastically well. So, but you need transitioning, as I mentioned. People to come in, to have their own goals, not just their own goals, but to complete what you started.
Exactly.
If you started something, I come in and I see it as 0, I kick it out. How would that goal be attained and help the medical school?
It won't.
So I want him to understand that some of my goals are my independent goals. Some of them are continuation of what is already being started. And if you don't need leaders who are rigorous, who are hungry for change, who are go-getters, who will put their life on the line, who are not just, busy with other things, but their focus, their life, basically, it's all for medical school. That is what I want him to understand, that the hunger in team impact, we want to impact the medical school, to take the medical school to the highest of heights.
Interesting, and of course, powerful reviewers there. Mr. Sanya, now we'll proceed. Hence, we are running out of time. Okay. So now, we have to state some of the challenges. I think you have already given a gist about the challenges. But now, as an aspiring leader, what are some of the remedies that you would put in place to make sure these challenges are solved?
Thank you, Mr. Mbai. That's a very wonderful question. Before going further to that, I would like to lament on some of the things that he has just mentioned.
Okay.
He said people are ready, or parastatals are ready to build a place for medical school. Okay.
Okay, he's saying that you are quoting him wrong.
No problem. So, if I could understand, you said, okay, now, where in sanitarium do you think you have secured?
Okay, thank you.
Yes, I just asked you that question.
So that's a wonderful question. So what I want him to understand is, as he rightly mentioned right now, there are executives that are in control of stuff. It will be a bewilderment for any Tom, Dick, and Harry to just go and do things that the present executives should be doing. So the basic thing is to link them, and they are very honest with us. They wouldn't give us false information. I trust them. That's why we voted them in office. So the problem is, he told me everything, that the present, our president, dean, acting provost, and the Ministry of Lands, Ministry of Health, they all met, and I have no doubt, iota of doubt, that have happened, because he showed me evidence of emails that are going through everything. It is on the final stages of it being acquired and being given to the medical school. I have no doubt that he can make his personal research.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Kurubale. But I think you need to go back and ask them about this. It's not that Ministry of Health, Ministry of Land, and University have met. They are given a proposed place by the hospital. It's a proposed place. This is a place that if you want, you can develop. But these three parties should be involved. The hospital, university, the health, and Ministry of Land have to come together to sit and discuss about this land issue. You know, land issue is very sensitive. I've been in land issues for some time now. Somebody can tell you that this is your place, but without the document, it's not your place. You need a title deed. All the documents transfer to your name. That's why we are making follow-up with the Ministry of Health, Ministry of Land, and BCC to make sure that we have a place within Banjul.
So, but concerning Banjul, do you think there is any, place that they can allocate?
Recently, after our meeting with the director, he was proposing UN building.
Okay.
That's the building opposite School of Nursing. He said we can go and check that place, and then he will discuss with the Minister of Health to see whether it will be feasible. But it's not a permanent promise, or it's not a promise that he's going to give us that place until and unless he's discussed the issue with the minister, because we involve the minister. He said, let's go to the director and talk with the director.
Okay.
And then he has given us many options. Understand?
Okay.
So part of the options also, fishery is about to move. So we can make follow-up up to the president's office so that they can give us that place.
Okay.
But also, we have to know that the hospital that is under construction at Farato is going to be a teaching hospital. So they are also trying to include our issues in that, where we'll have a permanent dormitory, so that when they are going to move us there, we'll have dormitory or own place there. So these are some of the things. So if you sit with the intellectuals, you get to know that yes, this is not an easy issue that we can say, yeah, we have this, we want to do, but you have to go through so many things. You know.
Okay.
He told us, why don't you use your ministry, stuff like that? No, we were advised to come to you through health. That would have been easier. So if you people can help us within Banjul.
Thank you.
Anyway, outside Banjul, it's very possible. I say I just explain everything to him, what we want, like how we study sometimes. So it's only Banjul that will be feasible for us.
Thank you. I think yet my question is not that much answered.
Yes.
That is
I was just trying to.
Yeah. I debunk some of his points.
Some of his points.
Okay.
So as I said before, when you go to the to SMAS, we have so many issues. The challenges is some of the challenges I know because normally cohorts they are delayed due to lecturers. Some of them have been solved, I can say, not fully, but some of them have been solved due to the other executives. They are really working hard to make sure that all these past executives really they were doing good. Really, they were working hard to make sure that what the students want. Students' welfare is their priority, and they're working on every day, night to make sure that what they have promised uh, is met. So for those things, but now still we have persistent problems like chairs, tables, toilet facilities.
Yeah, what are you going to do to make sure those problems are
I
solved?
think I lamented on them, like one, diversifying things so that the problems will be solved. How can we diversify it? We have KMC, we have VCC, all these local government, uh, all these regions and uh, how will I call it? Local government area councils and the like. We have students from all the regions. I'm from LRR,
Okay.
understand? And then these are responsible for the welfare of the youth. So we can even write to those people, for support. Parastatals are there. So we don't confine ourselves to only UTG admit.
Okay.
Because once they are like previous executive will be following them, although they are doing good, but they don't have enough resources. We have seen other places, other philanthropists.
Mr. Sanya, I'm not trying to keep this long.
Okay.
I think your time is up. So let's allow Mr. Krubali to, state some of the problems and what are the remedies or the solutions that you are going to put to make sure these problems are solved.
So thank you very much. That's a wonderful question. So if I was to talk about, the problems are rampant. They are too much. Not to underrate what the current Unigamsa executives are doing. I would say that anywhere I go, they are doing fantastically well. But due to the time frame of giving for a executive to rule Unigamsa, it's 1 year. It's short. You can't achieve all your manifesto, your plans for the association. If you should achieve, should be your short-term goals. The long term, it takes time. It need patience. It need, input of resources, time and sacrifice with the workload of medical school. So it's not just any Tom, Dick and Harry that have works to do, busy with schedules, have a different thing, not only medical school in hand, would come and do that. We have to face and tell the people the truth. Away from that, the challenge that I just want to, highlight is the cafeteria issue. Not all people come to school wanting to buy food from the outside. Medical school in Band, you have a cafeteria. And if you take a look at how it's been functioned for the past, 5 to 10 years, it's cool, but we can do better.
Okay.
We can do better. Currently, as I'm speaking, there's nobody there. It's been locked up. The past people that were there, they were renting and they were given the choice to minimize the price that they will sell food to the students. So if you take a look at it, they were there until at some time they followed with the administration. They were sent out. So currently, in every university school that you go, especially in Kanifing right now, students who are there, they have access to the cafeteria. They go, they buy food at a cheaper price. They eat, they talk inside their chairs, everything in the cafeteria. But in medical school, it's not there. And that is among my long-term goals. And I know very well that past executives have given that promise. And because it's a long-term goal, they've pushed, but there's still a room for improvement. That I will do, and that's the challenge that we're facing. We will go outside and buy food. You know how food bread and bean cost nowadays, $40 plus or something, and you have to pay fare and go back and forth to school. Students need subsidies, badly in need of subsidies, and people who are watching and who are in the medical school know exactly what I'm talking about. So the cafeteria, I work on it as a long-term goal. Some of the and already as I'm speaking, I have the number of the chef in Carnegie. It's all the same UTG.
Okay.
I've been in touch with him. I don't want to speak much into that. We will find the best solution to bring on the table for Gamsa so that food in the school for the students will not be an issue.
Okay.
It will be subsidized. Let's say if bread and beans is outside is 50 or 40, you make it 30.
Thank you, Mr.
Make
Kuba.
it 25.
Thank you, Mr.
That's
Kuba.
how I would, tackle that. There are other problems, of course, man. If you take a look at the Students' Corner, there's a place we call Students' Corner. There are students who, after class or maybe after ward rounds, might go there and relax. That place is almost always, left empty. The AC is not working. The door is not good. We have plans to tackle that. We want to even extend it, in a way that students would have their materials saved there and then would go to the wards and attend to patients. We and the nurses and the other staffs in the hospital cannot have all our backpacks packed in the same, drawer or something. So all those are problems that we're facing, and we are not just waiting to be voted into office to start it, because we are optimistic. We are team impact. We will impact even before we step in office. We're already contacting all the necessary means to make sure it works. And problems are too much. And if you read through my manifestos, you get to know that we are ready to put the best deal on the table for the Gamsa.
Thank you, Mr. Krubali, and quite interesting. Just to remind you once again, viewers, this is Fine TV Gambia, your viewpoint, and of course, today there is debate here between aspiring candidates, aspiring vice candidates. Who are from UNIGAMSA, that is the University of the Gambia Medical Students Association. So we are at the tail end of the debate, and now, Mr. Sanya, could you please in brief, tell us reasons as to why you think students will vote for you, in making it final on your statement.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mbai. As just I elaborated on some of the issues and then the remedy of some of the issues.
Mike.
Yes. So I believe when you go through my manifesto and then what I'm seeing here, you'll be convinced that I'm the right candidate for the position, because I have highlighted a lot of important things that if I come into the office, I will make sure those things are fixed. Hygiene is very important when it comes to health. So leaving all the toilets to be like that without repair, without having a maintenance unit within that will take care of them, So these are some of the things that we should know that, yes, we are ready to work. Dormitory issue, the same things. You talk of the tables, chairs, the same thing. You talk of the classroom, the same thing. Okay, the cafeteria that my opponent mentioned, to have or to rent the place to somebody that will sell bread to that price is not going to be easy. I'm not saying it's not possible, or it's not going to be easy, because those who were there, it was too expensive for
okay, Mr. Sanya, we are not at the stage of review time.
I know.
We want you to, in a final format, to send your message to the...
I am coming to a point.
Okay, but like...
That space can be used as a classroom. Because whoever you rented that place to somebody, the person will make sure that he made profit out of it. I cannot rent a place and be there.
So is it like the renting is at a cost that it is costly or what? I'm not understanding, because it differs.
What I want to put it to you. What I want to put it to you. If you go to the market, you buy bean. You buy bean, the ingredients and everything. You now buy bread. Even if you cannot sell it at $25.
Well, for that, it depends. It depends on the person who is going there to sell. This is even clear. Even senior school level, you have, the ladies who are selling there, the price that they sell and the outsiders is quite different. It cannot be the same.
Exactly.
So at times, and then yet people are selling in schools.
Exactly.
So let me make it very clear to you. And then I think learning is always necessary if the stomach is full.
Exactly.
So if you are trying to make it very clear here, like that place could be used for classroom, I think before going to class first, your stomach has to be full. So I mean, having a cafeteria in a school, I believe, would also help in making students so comfortable in that particular place.
Thank you very much, Mr. Moderator. As he likely mentioned, the cafeteria was there. It was so expensive that students were not going there to buy food. Understand? So outsiders come there to buy food when students are not going there to buy food.
So what is the cause of that?
Because it's expensive. Even a Mayor tea, MTT, you buy it for $25.
Okay, now what I'm asking is like, why do you think, it is expensive in that particular place?
Yeah, because I'm looking, why is expensive at that particular place? Because you have university staffs, you have medical doctors, you have consultants. So obviously, the venue or place is big. The price.
But I don't think that is a solid point here. Despite the fact that medical doctors are coming there to buy, but the place is, purely for medical students. So there are agreements.
No, it was not purely for medical students.
But like the place where the cafeteria is
it belongs to the medical school.
Exactly.
But it was not a place for the medical student because these people were tourism, Gambia Tourism Board.
Yeah.
Were the one that rented that place for their business. So they rented it from the university admin. So there they are selling it the way they want. And then what the university want again is to rent that place to a business guy, either a businessman or a woman, so that he can run that place. So if you rented a place to me, you dare not to condition me on how I will sell my food.
No. I don't think that is
because I'm going to pay, and I want to make this. I want to make profit.
Okay, now if I'm getting you, if I'm wait. No, I want to make things very clear.
Yes,
you understand? So like if even though things are expensive there, the reason behind the expensive thing is that the university, maybe the amount of cost that they impact on them for paying rent. So yet that could be discussed to make sure the price is reduced.
The price that I was told these people were paying was not costly. It was just like 5,000 per month. It's not costly at that place.
Okay. Now I think I said with that. I want to allow him. We are not against time.
That's what I'm telling you. So for our problem to be solved is to turn that place to classroom. Understand?
Okay.
Because we go out to buy food and eat, and then with existence of that cafeteria, we still go out to buy food and come and eat. Understand? Because of the place, because the food price is too expensive for us to buy. So now, if you want to put somebody there again, you want to rent it to somebody, how will you see it?
Question. Okay. I think you are done with your final statement to students who are watching live.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Famara.
Yes.
Can I have that? So I think the biggest problem that we can say to people is I have tried and failed. If I try, I would also fail. That's a backward mentality.
Okay.
If he goes back to the records of what's happening in the cafeteria, it's true they've left, and the rent was 5,000, and what maybe the agreement wasn't good by then. But if I should bring in someone who is ready to pay, listen, those guys were there and they were ready for 5,000, but they were having free water, free electricity. They are there just to cook, bring food, people to buy. Imagine having free water and free electricity in a hospital just to serve the students and anybody else in the hospital who will want to buy, doctors, house officers, employees, nurses. just make sure you reduce it for the students alone. I think that's fair. And from my investigations, those guys who just left, they have not been paying rent for the past, number of years. And the MD, that is the director at Canifing, he made sure that they paid the rent and they were kicked out. And I support that. If the best deal could not be brought to the table, I would change it. So if he tells me that it has been there, it did not work, students will still go outside and buy because it was costly. Maybe the deal wasn't best. And you cannot tell me A tried, he failed, I will try and I will fail. I don't believe in pessimist ideas. I'm an optimistic somebody. I'll face my issues head on. If I pass, I'm grateful. If not, even if I push halfway, I believe if I don't complete, because I have the belief that in leadership, one of the most important thing is transitioning. If I don't, which I don't even want to bring into the picture, but if it happens, I've started it, and someone would come and make sure it's possible. Because already I told you, I have the chef numbers at Carnegie, and we are communicating. And I don't want to reveal all my plans. If A fails, B can have it. And you're gonna tell me how if I try to fail.
Yeah.
So those guys who were there, they were paying water. It was free water.
I have a
Free.
question for you. Okay. Thank you very much. It's like that place you are in, students are in control of it, or is the university administration that is in control of it? And then if the agreement is to be made, it has to be between the admit and then the business guy.
So you have to understand the student leader, that is the VP, have to lead from the student side. He have to involve the director and the VC at Carnegie. Currently, just some hours ago, I had that discussion. It is up to the VC. The VC would talk to the director of facilities. If he tells him to give to the students for free, the director will give it to us for free. But if he said that, you can rent it, just make sure it's not that costly, then we will rent it. How am I going to do it? If he gives it to the student, us for, let's say, 10K, I would rent it for 15K. But making sure that, the price for the students is subsidized. But that of any other staff and any other person that comes in, the same price, you know how you want to sell it. But the students would be subsidized. And out of that 15K, if the money comes, the 10K would go back to the university, and the other 5 would be used for the students' welfare. The plans I have for Unigamsa are huge.
Yeah.
Are too much. This one buttress on 1.2. That we've already started making that move. And as you rightly mentioned, you're gonna go to class hungry. If there's a place close to your class that food is sell at a cheaper price, you'd go in for that one rather than going outside. Sometimes it's even raining. You have to go to under the rain, find food, bring it back, eat to be able to attend lectures. So I want him to understand that we are not pessimists. If somebody, the current executive have they've tried. I wouldn't, deny the fact. But it was not a priority, like a top one. Things to do in medical schools are too much.
Mm-hmm.
If I say it's a long-term goal, it's not something that if I enter into his power, I'll do it. It's something. It's cooking. Currently, the current one, they have 1.5 months left for them to go. So obviously they're gonna do that.
Thank you.
But they might have left a stone for us, like a starting stone, so that we can also start. Another thing I want to emphasize is the accommodation of the SRN. The medical school, share the School of Nursing at Banjul. We all share dorm. We are giving around 28 rooms. I don't know, like for the medical student.
Okay.
Most of the things are intact. Just last time, one of the rooms got fired, and almost everything in the house got burned. Thank you. Got burned, and among those issues, it's the electrical appliances are kind of old, and all those stuff. Currently it has been sorted out because they're working on it tirelessly. But one thing that I noticed, because when I was there, as I told you, I was, squatted there once. My body would itch me when I use the toilet. Damade, sihilu. And if I entered those toilets, I wouldn't even do my job there. Fat man again, that I would scratch my body. The hygiene there is bad. And my move is to make sure that, I will reveal all my goals, all my plans. But I will generate fund in that place to making sure that the hygiene is intact in that place and any other place inside the four corners of the university. I just want him to be a person who is optimistic and not to be a pessimist. Yes.
Thank you. I think that is all for today. Esteemed viewers and followers, I think it was a very interesting debate between two, aspiring leaders who vying for the position of vice president in University of the Gambia Medical Students Association, that is at the medical school. So basically, they've, all shared their manifestos, plans, and of course, they've all stated challenges that are going on at the medical at the medical school. And then they've also give the individual, remedies, solution to those problems. So now I think it is left to the students to decide. So up next is we'll have the presidents, the able presidents who will also exchange ideas, and of course bringing solution to problems that are affecting the medical students in Banjul. So just to remind you once again, it is Fine TV Gambia, your live your point. I'm your moderator Brown by. Stay tuned as we take with the presidents in just a few minutes time. Bye bye, and thank you for coming to Fine TV, and I wish you good luck in your elections. Thank you.